This is WKYT This Morning.
Rise and shine. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you on this Wednesday, October 19th. I'm Andrea Walker.
And I'm Bill Bryant. In Kentucky Morning Start right here on WKYT. We're sure glad you're part of the crowd. It is Wednesday, October 19th.
Now at 6, we're tracking the latest on the shooting of a police officer in Bourbon County. How the officer was able to walk away without injury just ahead.
Also on WKYT, a stretch of Interstate 64 remains closed in Woodford County. It is following a deadly crash. They're working desperately to get things reopened so that folks can get from Lexington over to Frankfort this morning. We'll update you.
And despite the warm weather this week, the Triangle Park ice rink is getting ready to be installed when you can break out those skates coming up.
Is anybody ready for that?
No!
Well, I don't know. May as well be. And you're going to start to get ahead of that as we head into the next couple of days.
It's been really warm the past few days.
Yeah.
And then, like you were talking about, it gets really cold later on this weekend and off into, well, really the late work week off into the weekend. A big blast of colder air is heading our direction. Before we actually get there, we're still going to be dealing with some pretty mild air. And not only that, but some rain in the forecast. Finally, a few showers up toward northern Kentucky this morning. Other than that, it's pretty dry outside. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Even some 70s showing up in northern Kentucky. So it's actually pretty nice this morning. So the chance is mainly north through the day, but we can also include central Kentucky, which does include Lexington, once we get in toward the afternoon. So just keep in mind, there is a rain chance. It's not great, but it is there. That means most of us stay dry. We're going to get in toward tomorrow where most of us actually pick up pretty hefty rainfall totals. I'll show you that coming up in a few minutes.
And as we get right to the news, we begin with a developing story in central Kentucky this morning. State police say a suspect is dead after an officer was shot over in Bourbon County.
Now, this all started around 9:30 last night at a home on Brent Street. That's off Main Street in Paris. There are a few things we still don't know this morning, but WKYT's Lauren Miner is tracking down those answers live in Paris. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, Andrea. Well, police have been on scene since 9:30 last night. They are still investigating this morning, and as you can see behind me, they do have 19th Street blocked off at Brent Street. Not many details are being released right now, but here is what we do know. They have confirmed that the man who shot a Paris police officer is dead this morning after a lengthy standoff. Police say it was around 9:30. Paris police and KSP were called here to a home on Brent Street for a burglary investigation. Officers tell us when they arrived when they tried to make contact with the person at the home, shots were fired and a police officer was hit. Police say the bullet hit the officer's bulletproof vest and was not injured. Hours later, the suspect who shot the officer was confirmed dead. They are still investigating the cause of his death.
It's always nerve-wracking, and you know, the first thing you ask, you know, how is everybody? And they advised me, you know, when they called me out that the officer is all right. So it's, you know, take a breath there.
A very scary situation, and I did speak with Kentucky State Police not too long ago, who say they will be releasing further information later on this morning, and we will be sure to bring you that as we receive it. Reporting in Paris, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
All right, Lauren, thank you very much. And we want to get you up to speed right now. We do have some new information about a major traffic alert this morning.
Watching this all night long, a stretch of Interstate 64 remains closed in Woodford County following a deadly crash. We know that thousands commute from Lexington over to Frankfort. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain now at our alert desk with more details. Michelle?
Yeah, those westbound lanes are still closed this morning, more than 8 hours after a deadly crash. Police say a semi went into an embankment off the westbound lanes. Now, this happened in Woodford County. A tractor trailer flipped onto its side at mile marker 66, and that's between Midway and the Scott County line. Now, you're taking a look at the live scene. We just got an update from the state. They now say this stretch of I-64 will be closed for at least another 30 minutes. Now, we're told the passenger in the semi was ejected and died on the scene. The Woodford County coroner tells us that the passenger is 37-year-old David Scott of Arizona. Police tell us the driver of the semi is okay. Now, if you're driving on I-64 this morning, all westbound lanes near mile marker 66 are shut down. Police tell us they've got a detour set up at exit 69. The lanes are expected to be open by 6:30 this morning. Bill, Andrea?
All right, those experienced commuters probably probably know those back roads and so forth, but hopefully they'll get the interstate open in the next few minutes. It looked like things are beginning to move. We'll update you just as soon as we get additional info here. Lexington police are calling on the community now to try to help end gun violence. It comes as police investigate a string of shootings that have happened recently across the city.
Police responded to 3 separate shootings within 5 hours early Sunday morning. 2 of them were deadly, including the shooting of 15-year-old Trinity Gay, who was shot outside the Cookout restaurant on South Broadway. Lexington Police Chief Mark Barnard addressed the issue of violence at last night's council meeting, saying it begins with the public wanting to see change.
You know, people need to take a stand and say enough is enough. And if whether it's their friend or their family member, and just say, we're not accepting that any longer.
We stand with him. You know, we need to get out in our neighborhoods and tell people, when you see something, you should say something. You know, disregard that old snitching antic. That's just a ploy to keep people afraid.
Now, there has been a lot of speculation about whether these weekend's shootings are connected, but right now Chief Barnard says they think each of them is separate.
Police say a driver was trapped for hours after his semi crashed in Pulaski County. The crash was on a ramp between Highway 914, the bypass there, and the Cumberland Parkway near Somerset. Pulaski County's public safety director says the tractor trailer overturned and it trapped the driver inside, and it took them 3 hours to rescue him. Investigators say he was flown out to the hospital with serious injuries.
We've learned a man has died after a crash in Rockcastle County. It happened on Highway 70 near the Highway 150 intersection. Police say Johnny Maybrier lost control of his car and flipped. He was flown to UK Hospital where he later died.
Police are investigating some racially charged vandalism in a Lexington neighborhood.
Neighbors in the North Limestone area say the word racist was spray painted on someone's front door. Cars and Black Lives Matter signs were also damaged. Now flyers are showing up in the neighborhood with a message for the vandals. They say, quote, "It is because we believe all lives matter that we have a Black Lives Matter sign in our yard."
Yes, and I want every person, no matter what nationality, no matter what race you are, no matter what walk of life you're in, to be willing to stand. You know, just stand.
Homeowners were able to clean up the vandalism. They have since added new Black Lives Matter signs to their yards.
Madison County school officials are addressing some rumors this morning that have been spread around the Madison Central High School. They say it started after a group of students got into a fight at the school last week and they were suspended. The school officials say rumors then started spreading that there would be another fight among the suspended students when they returned to school today. School officials say they have talked to the suspended students and to their parents, and they feel everything has been sorted out. Just as a precaution, they say there will be extra security on duty today at Madison Central High School. Well, we have flirted with record-breaking heat this week, but believe it or not, crews are about to start working on an ice rink in downtown Lexington.
That's right. The Triangle Park Foundation says construction for the deck of the rink will begin next week, and the ice will be placed right after that. The ice rink is expected to open around the middle of next month. And while it's not quite ice skating weather right now, it kind of almost will be by the end of the week.
Well, we're going to get a good little preview of what's to come with the blast of cold. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris in our First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, we're definitely not feeling it this morning. Check this out. We're at 72 degrees right now in Rowan County. Lakeview Heights go down to Cave Run, and it looks good. It's just going to be very chilly as we get off towards your weekend. So a different feel now than what it will be like later on this work week off into your weekend. It's 70 degrees right now in Frankfort, Lexington 69, and then you go down into London, which actually hit a record yesterday at 85 degrees. We're now at 59, so it kind of depends on where you are. Central northern zones, we actually have those clouds laying around. Because of this, we see some rain far northern Kentucky. You get off toward Owen County, Grant, Pendleton, go northbound into Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. Right along this area, this is going to be the best chance of rain. It's not going to move that much. Now, I will tell you this. I'd say 64 corridor, you may get in on the action as we go through your day, but around there is about 30-40%. It's really the 60% chance is going to be far northern Kentucky, closest that you get toward Cincinnati. That's your best bet. So we'll go through the day and have that rain chance, once again, mainly north. Off towards your afternoon, roughly 80 degrees. Southern half, I would give it a 5-10% chance of rain. Obviously, virtually all of us stay dry. But central northern zones, you still have that 40 to 60% chance depending on where you live. Once we get through your day, it doesn't look all that bad for you guys in the south. So watch this hour-by-hour forecast, okay? We get off toward noontime, 1 p.m., maybe going out to eat with some friends, families, coworkers. Doesn't look too bad, but I will tell you this, northern Kentucky, once again, that is your best bet later on this afternoon. But you can see bits and pieces fire up along that 64 corridor. And so I'm saying the best chance is going to be 64 north. You guys in the south, it's actually going to be a really, really nice day. London, you are looking at 85 degrees later on this afternoon for a forecast high. And if you hit that, you're going to break another record. That will be the 3rd consecutive day that you actually broke a record. It's unbelievable. The severe threat is going to be with us tomorrow, mainly deep into the afternoon, off into the evening hours. It's a marginal risk, meaning low-end severe weather risk, but nonetheless, it is there. That's going to be tomorrow with the bulk of the rain. This isn't a line moving through, meaning I can't give you a 3-hour window for your house because it's going to be bits and pieces here and there popping up here and there. So the bulk of the rain, though, is really late in the afternoon, off into the evening hours on Thursday. Friday morning, it starts to slide on out. That means Friday evening for high school football actually looks good, but it's going to be very chilly. I'd say by the time the game ends, 46 degrees will be the temperature. That's going to be cold for you. Trust me on that.
Sell some hot chocolate that night, right? Yeah. Then it looks like Saturday night, chillier than that.
That's right, for all those football games, too.
Yeah. Micah, thank you. It's 6:11 right now, and we want to update you on traffic.
That's right. Each morning we bring you weather and traffic together, and we do have some good news right now.
We do. I-64 westbound has just reopened. It is still slow going in that area following a fatality accident. It's been more than 8 hours that the interstate was closed. So here's a live look right now. I-64, this is in Woodford County, there in that little area where Woodford County and Scott County come together, as you see there near that Georgetown exit. And things are really creeping along, but again, it has reopened. We would anticipate some delays for the next little bit for those of you commuting early over to Frankfort, as thousands do to work in state government. We'll keep you updated, but again, things are beginning to move on I-64 westbound. Other than that, things looking pretty good this morning.
Yeah, slowly but surely there, but yeah, everywhere else looking pretty good this morning. We haven't heard any reports of any other accidents, so that's good news to start your Wednesday.
And we're glad you're with us on this Wednesday morning. A lot more to tell you about here on WKYT this morning.
Still ahead, both facing looming controversies, the presidential candidates are preparing for one more shot to win over voters during tonight's final debate.
The drama of it all. And the classic chocolate candy is getting a new taste.
Hey.
We're going to tell you when you can expect that on your store shelf. Just ahead on WKYT.
Welcome back into WKYT this morning. We're coming up on 6:16 on your Wednesday. And tonight, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will face off in Las Vegas in their third and final presidential debate.
And, you know, people are, it's like they can't help but want to see it, but at the same time,
I mean,
it's like,
we should be asleep long before this starts.
And everybody say, when will this all be over? But they can't help but watch. Both candidates will be trying to shift the focus away from their own looming controversies. Trump's multiple allegations of sexual assault and harassment, and Clinton's so-called quid pro quo deal with the FBI over her email scandal. Weijia Jiang has more on tonight's final presidential debate.
The Republican nominee goes into tonight's showdown as the underdog, having lost support among women voters amid multiple allegations of sexual assault and harassment.
These were made-up allegations that were played up by the media, very unfair.
Clinton's campaign says she's ready to tackle questions surrounding the endless stream of hacked DNC emails.
This is an effort that's led by the Russians that is designed to hurt our campaigns.
The format for tonight's debate is the same as the first, with Clinton and Trump standing at different podiums as they make their final case to millions of Americans.
From Trump, I think he will literally throw everything in the kitchen sink at Hillary, ranging from more talk of accusers against Bill Clinton to Breitbart-type conspiracy theories.
All eyes will be on both candidates as they enter the debate hall to see if they shake hands at the start, something they avoided last time. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Las Vegas.
Now, according to the New York Times, the candidates' families reportedly won't be shaking hands as they enter the arena tonight. Mark Cuban will be one of Hillary Clinton's guests, and Trump is planning to bring the Kenyan-born half-brother of President Obama.
President Obama says the battle to regain control of the Iraqi city of Mosul from ISIS will be successful but difficult. Iraqi troops and Kurdish forces are now surrounding Iraq's second-largest city, which fell to the terror group 2 years ago. They're being helped by American airstrikes and U.S. special forces. Meanwhile, hundreds of people in southern Colorado are under evacuation orders because of a fast-moving wildfire. The blaze burning near the Rocky Mountains foothills has already scorched more than 25 square miles. Several homes and businesses have already been destroyed.
The time this morning is 6:18 on WKYT, and we're glad you're along with us. Yahoo's revenue plunged in the last quarter, its first report since admitting to a massive data breach back in 2014. The CEO, Marissa Mayer, canceled the usual earnings conference call with reporters. That means there are few details about the hacking and when the company first knew about it. Yahoo is in the process of being sold to Verizon. Holiday spending expected to increase this season, but you may not see any more seasonal workers on the sales floor than last year. Analysts say consumers are doing more of their holiday buying online instead of out at the mall and shopping centers. Still, they anticipate retailers will hire about 700,000 workers this holiday season. Also this morning, Samsung is making it easy for some flyers to ditch their dangerous Galaxy Note 7s before boarding a flight. Exchange booths have been popping up at airports around the world since the device was recalled after reports of overheating and fires. In the U.S., federal officials have banned those devices from all flights. And another change is coming to the sky. 60,000 Delta Airlines employees will be strutting their new uniforms created by New York fashion designer Zach Posen. The airline plans to start rolling out the new outfits in early 2017. And it's a bit of a change from the old days, right? And then M&M's will soon have a new flavor. This is an amazing story. Who would have thought a classic like that would change? But they're going to have caramel now. It's a tasty addition to its milk chocolate, peanut, and peanut butter flavors. A Mars chocolate researcher says caramel is the fastest growing segment in food right now. The caramel M&Ms are expected to hit the store shelves in May. So you're going to have to wait for that. Have a little patience.
Didn't you know that, Bill? Caramel is hot right now. Caramel is hot.
Caramel is hot. Caramel melts when it's hot, right?
Ooh, looks so good. Getting me in the mood for Halloween.
Yeah.
All right, WKYT this morning, we are just getting started. Still to come, a Virginia officer is busting more than criminals. Find out what called out this man to put him in the spotlight in about 6 minutes. Busting a move.
I like that. Defender Radar Network, there's the look. Go north, and that's where you see that rain chance. But how far does it slide southbound? I'm going to get into that with your afternoon forecast coming up next.
Welcome back into WKYT this morning. The time now is 6:24 on your Wednesday. A man is dead after a police officer was shot in Bourbon County.
That's what's trending this hour at WKYT News. State police say the Paris police officer was wearing his bulletproof vest and was not hurt. They're not saying how the man who shot the officer died. Police went to the suspect's home on Brent Street last night as part of a burglary investigation.
The westbound lanes of I-64 in Woodford County have now reopened after a deadly crash. That just into our newsroom. A semi overturned between the Scott County line and the Midway exit overnight. The coroner says the passenger in the semi, David Scott from Arizona, was killed.
Should be a warm day today once again, but changes are certainly at our doorstep. Here's Micah.
Major changes. Yeah, you're going to see that front push on through as we go through your day tomorrow. Not so much today. Like Bill was talking about, it's going to be another warm one because if you are on the southern extent of a cold front, you're going to be seeing that warm air rush on in. Northern extent, obviously, as that front passes on through, it'll bring that chance to actually drop those temperatures big time. So the front is still to the north of us. It stays there. It doesn't move all that much. That means central northern Kentucky will have the best chance of rain today. It's not a great chance, but it's there. The better opportunity is 60% chance of rain in Covington, Lexington more like 30-40%, London more like 10%. So you get the drift. The farther south you are, better likelihood of not seeing rain today, but I know a lot of us are wanting some rain. So the good news here is, yes, there's a chance, central northern Kentucky today, guys, but tomorrow we really bring in not just good chances, but good chances of heavy rain too. We're going to go over the numbers on that and the potential for severe weather that's coming up.
Are you ready for this? Exactly.
All right. Oh, what? You did not just do that.
I did, but I mean, what a change with that weather.
I know,
Wow.
gosh. All right, moving on. A wild ending to a police chase was caught on camera in Texas.
A driver captured this video showing the suspect lose control of a pickup, fly off of the interstate, and then crash into an apartment building. Police say a woman had just stolen the truck a short time before and had already hit 3 cars trying to get away. Look at that. There she goes into that apartment building. Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
The woman did try running away on foot after that crash, but police were able to catch her. Luckily, they say nobody was inside the apartment at the time of the crash.
She gets an A for effort, doesn't she?
I'm telling you.
Good grief.
All right, a Virginia police officer is becoming the latest viral sensation after busting some impressive dance moves.
Get it? I love it. The officer showed off his fancy footwork to Beyonce's hit song Formation during a high school pep rally. Now, he was asked to perform by his fiancée, who is a teacher at the school, and as you can see, the kids were loving it.
He's
He's really good. He's got rhythm.
What about that?
They're loving it.
Everybody had a good
loving
time.
it.
And I'm sure the fiancée, you know, she's pleased
Oh, yeah.
by his compliance.
Oh, yeah. Well, he had to do it. He had no choice.
No doubt. 6:27 is the time, bright and early on your Wednesday, and it's so good to have you starting your day with WKYT this morning.
And when we come back, doctors say giving your child an overdose of certain medicines is easier to do than you might think. A warning for parents at 6:35.
Before that, our top stories are on the way, and tonight's Powerball jackpot is $136 million. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $25 million. Keep it here on WKYT.